Bakoteh is a vibrant and thriving community in the Greater Banjul area, part of the Kanifing Municipal Council in the Gambia. But this seemingly tranquil neighborhood is home to something else, the Bakoteh Dumpsite. Surrounded by a densely populated area, over 50,000 men, women, and children live in close proximity, but it has been estimated that more than twice that number are affected daily by its present toxic state, and figures are likely to be higher as the urban sprawl continues to encroach the site.
Well, the Bakoteh Dumpsite has been our problem for many, many years with the residents of Bakoteh. We have the hazard of a very bad smell every evening, every morning, especially during the rainy season. It's worst. During the dry season, if the smell subsides, you have the problem of the smoke coming up. You see that a lot of children living in this area, Bakoteh Estate, the SOS Children's Village, have all developed asthma. And we all know the effects of asthma on children. In a nutshell, the dump site is really, really a social problem and a health problem for all the residents of Bakoteh and Manjai.
We live in Bakoteh for a greater portion of our lives, and then living in here, having sometimes this smoke, smoking us out for 48 to almost 72 hours sometimes, is kind of catastrophic. Indiscriminate dumping everywhere. Each time you just go anywhere, people can come and dump, and then you have the scavengers lighting the fire. Sometimes we are walking here in our offices, the smoke is so much inside the office than even outside.
Bakoteh is the end destination for over 500 tons of refuse per day, collected from homes, businesses, hospitals, and illegal dumps throughout the KMC area, from as far afield as the Gambia's capital, Banjul.
From 2013 to 2017, there has been a lot of projections that were made. That's in 2017, the projection of waste generation should rise at 0.67%. A kilo, per person. So meaning that, which is almost a kilo, meaning that every person living in the municipality, you are generating one kilo of waste. So when you look at that at a household, on average, meaning between 4 to 6 kilos is generated.
Despite keeping waste, vermin, and a host of other litter-related diseases from the streets, Bakoteh has become a ticking time bomb. Safety standards in the 1980s failed to recognize the dangers of unsorted waste, and planners allowed for homes to be built as close as 30 meters from the site. Little did they know that it spelled slow death for so many inhabitants. Feasibility studies, including the two funded by the World Bank, KMC, and other stakeholders, produced shocking results, informing the already concerned KMC Council that heavy metals and unsorted chemical and clinical waste had already entered the water table.
There is some form of leaching taking place, especially during the rainy season. They use batteries, the e-waste, the clinical waste, the organic waste, the domestic waste, all the tires and all different type of waste are being dumped crudely without being managed at the Bakoteh Dumpsite.
The threat from below is in all the local populace faces. Atmospheric pollution in the form of thick smog creeps its way throughout Bakoteh, infiltrating homes, health clinics, hospitals, businesses, and schools, as waste spontaneously combusts due to methane gas buildup or is deliberately burned by scavengers. Families living in and around the SOS village and school, Gambia's only residential home for orphans, which is just a stone's throw away from the dump site, are reporting unusually high infant and general mortality rates, and respiratory illnesses such as asthma are common.
The most difficult part is the maternity area, where after delivery, women, they have to come with their children, they have their babies there, and when there is smoke, the whole area of smoke, in most cases we had to call the fire unit to come and stop the smoke, but it has been very difficult.
Resources needed to create a sustainable, safe, and ecologically sound project are too great, and the technical and physical capacity of KMC is simply too low to cope alone.
As a council, we are doing all our utmost best to make sure that we engage with partners to support us, to make sure that the Bakoteh Dumpsite is turned into a standard sanitary landfill.
The KMC team are desperately worried about the future, and it is getting harder to soothe the tide of discontent that just keeps on rising.
So we're glad that they are also looking up to our demands and, making sure that things are up to expectations. But we are hoping that by December, a sound waste management system would be put in place to make sure that waste management or waste problem becomes history in the Gambia. And this comes by working with stakeholders and listening to individuals, which was not happening in the old regime.
Despite all the terrible hazards, the landfill site plays a vital role for Bakoteh residents, and the wider implications of its closure are being felt as far as Banjul and beyond. The council researched and produced a 5-year municipal waste management plan, and findings were that Bakoteh needed a modernized sorting plant where waste can be separated and safely disposed of, which could be a viable and sustainable solution. This would directly benefit 143,000 women, 100,000 youths, 50,000 children, 100 scavengers, 150 private haulers, and 300 KMC waste collection and disposal crews.
The government should help them to have a final dumping ground. 1, 2, Bakoteh Dumpsite should serve as a transit point while waste will be segregated, separated, and finally dumped at the official recognized dump sites.
So, and we would like to work along with partners whosoever, even private private investors are invited, because as a council we cannot do it alone.
The Bakoteh Dumpsite is a national hazard, and something needs to be done to address this dire situation in the Gambia.